I am Ana Cecilia Juri Feghali. I studied law and political science at the University of San Buenaventura in Cali, Colombia. I did my specialization in business management in ICESI. I am a certified tourist guide by the Minister of Tourism from Lebanon, card 536 in the Spanish language. I am a journalist by vocation. 2 nations, 1 heart. Fortunately, I did not have to emigrate because of work. I only came to Lebanon, the homeland of my parents and ancestors, that it's also my nation, to accompany my mother, who returned to take care of his older parents, being an only child. My stay here was supposed to be only 1 month, but because of family circumstances, that month has turned into 20 years. Even though I am not really an immigrant, I understand the feelings and vicissitudes of the people who immigrate, that have to deal with many difficult circumstances like loneliness, frustration in not being able to talk fluently a different language, even though it was my parents' tongue. Once they were in Colombia, they educated us in Spanish and kept their language to communicate between them. Also, the ignorance of cultural norms, the difficulty to find a suitable job in the same professional rank as the country you were born. All these circumstances removed my concern about my identity, with the emotional implications. All rudeness in a new country implies putting distance to cultural references of your own country. In my case, Colombia, where I was born and lived most of my life, has a very Western culture, and Lebanon, the land from my ancestors, is one of the most ancient nations in the world and is a melting pot of cultures, languages, religions, and traditions, a crossroads of identity that makes this country unique. In my professional career, helping people who are immersed in a migratory process has been a constant feature and one of the most enriched experiences I have lived. Through stories from Colombians, married with people from another religion that always have dressed Western style and slowly start using the hijab and cover their heads with a scarf, it is a small detail, but not exempt from resignations. Some of them have lived some years in Lebanon, and that slowly changes in their way of dressing affected them in their integration process. But there was a more important thing: being part of a family other than the one in which she was born, have modulated a hybrid identity, trying not to betray its origins. I am always ready to work with the Colombian immigrants. Very few of them know the Lebanese language, and I am constantly asked to recommend things as simple as going to the doctor's appointment, etc., or by removing them from their shelters when they were in danger in times of conflict. This happened 2006, and working extra hours at the Colombian consulate, helping them doing the identity documents so they could leave the country. I am co-founder of a foundation, The Grace of Being, La Gracia del Ser, whose president is Lebanese. It supports with food to Lebanese people, Colombians, or any other origin in need, regardless of their beliefs. Lebanon is a very solitary country, receiver of immigrants and refugees as recognized by the ONU. It received me and welcomed me as another immigrant. Maybe our parents, when they arrived to Colombia, had to make many sacrifices and efforts to integrate in their new country and decided that their children were educated exclusively as Colombians. I admire their tenacity and sacrifice. In my experience, the emigrant devotes all its energy to the survival, in learning the language, in integrating to be accepted in this new society that has welcomed them. However, when the years have passed and they should be enjoying the achievements they have made, there is a sensation of tiredness and a feeling that goes from nostalgia to sadness. But once you come back to Colombia, in my personal experience, I am homesick for Lebanon. In Portuguese, there is a perfect word for this feeling, saudade. When in 2004, I was appointed to the Colombian Council as its assistant, I had been in the country for several years. My mother was seriously ill, and it seemed that the emotional link with Lebanon was about to disappear. Then I was filled with concerns. Who am I? Where do I belong to? Which is my home? Do I want to go back? Will I build a life project here? What have I achieved in these years? What have I lost along the way? It was a moment to make decisions and elaborate on the losses. What gives you an experience abroad? A great paradox. My Lebanese mother had just passed away, and my connection with Colombia was my job at the consulate. About my professional career, and for my resume, I have summarized it in 2 attached poems. In the last years, I have worked as an independent, trying to raise the name of Colombia and changing its image around Middle East, so they can know that Colombia is a modern country that since May 2018, it has been admitted as a member of the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. We have prepared 17 chapters that have been broadcasted through the Marian TV channel to all the countries in the Middle East. This includes the series Colombia is More Than Coffee. In each chapter, there is an information about our dear Colombia and its people. I have interviewed prominent Lebanese immigrants, giving special relevance to Lebanese immigrants in Colombia. This work has been done with the help and effort from many people in Colombia in the cultural, political, social, and entertaining spheres. To mention only a few, our First Lady, Mrs. Juliana Ruiz de Duque, the ex-president and Senator, Mr. Álvaro Uribe Vélez, the Senator Paloma Valencia and María del Rosario Guerra, former Minister José Antonio Ocampo, the President from Azocolflores, Mr. Augusto Solano, among other distinguished Colombians. This program have been broadcasted by Marian TV and Noursat through YouTube, where they show series, as I already mentioned, Colombia More Than Coffee, and other series from almost 69 chapters, called From Home, interviews with Colombians' current affair personalities already mentioned. And additional, from these interviews, I had the collaborations from the director of the Valle del Cauca Department Band, Mr. Remo Shecato, with a concert. Also, the Loyola's choir in a tribute to women. Also playing the piano, Mr. Mario Fernando Prado. The renowned designers, Mrs. Amalín de Hasbún, Andrés Otálora, and Carlos Armando Buitrago. Also was presented Colombian Christmas traditions and the Holy Week in Popayán. I am now working in another projects to continue promoting our country, such as the Petronius Álvarez Festival. Colombia is a multicultural country, the biodiversity in its 5 different regions, and in the beautiful Flower Festival from Antioquia, Peace in the Path with a commitment of no violence. The enthronement of the Virgin from Chiquinquirá in the Vatican Gardens, one of the most beautiful churches in the world, the sanctuary of Our Lady of Las Lajas in Ipiales, Nariño, and the Salt Cathedral of Zipaquirá. As a tourist guide in Lebanon, accredited by the Ministry of Tourism of Lebanon, I have done several videos that you can find in YouTube. For the great reception given to the programs broadcasted, I submit for your consideration that they are broadcasted by the Colombian television in cultural programs so that Colombian families, especially the ones living abroad, can revive our traditions that have been lost or forgotten by the new generations. All this material has been done by me and is available for distribution. Today, I'm very clear that Colombia is my country, the one where I belong and love, and representing it in Lebanon, the land from my ancestors, closes a migratory circle and creates an indestructible bridge between two worlds, only apparently different in appearance. I have kept always a very positive attitude and coherence between my origin and my ancestors, where the migratory experience is very important in my personal growth that includes a lot of blessings and lessons. All migratory process involves weavers and gains, tears, and a lot of affection and kindness from those who welcome us and allow us to show them our culture because they let us give. That is our best contribution, as the motto of our foundation, the grace of living. The biggest sacrifice is above all being away from the family and friends and feeling sometimes very vulnerable. Although little by little the secure zone is created, and thanks to technology, you can keep a constant contact. And like that, the day in both sides of the world are never ending. Today, when I wake up and morning embraces me in the blessing of life, come to my mind so many happy moments lived with my family, with my parents, at the school, and in my birthday parties with my classmates. My first love, being a grown-up in the university, and our first jobs as professionals. I have always assumed the difficulties that come with life have been also blessings and have strengthened the spirit. To all that have been with me, I want to embrace them and show them my gratitude because of their generosity that have helped me strengthen my spirit. You can always count on me. A big and affectionate hug with immense gratitude and admiration. Ana Cecilia Juri Feghali.